One of the small miracles of Muleshoe is the Heritage Center, which had its beginnings in 1976. That year, the 7th grade sponsor challenged her students with the idea of publishing a history of Bailey County. The school year was spent recording oral and written histories of early settlers. Pictures were collected and taken of historical landmarks that have since vanished. The gatherings were successfully turned into a published county history.
In 1982, the Santa Fe Railroad System offered the Mushu Santa Fe Depot to the citizens of Mushu, provided they relocate the structure. The townspeople wanted to save the historic landmark, but they did not know how to fund such an undertaking. Immediately, the group of high school students who in their 7th grade year had published Early History of Bailey County became interested in saving the depot. They established the Student Community Action Club, SAC, under the sponsorship of their U.S. government teacher. The club and interested local citizens began to raise funds to move the depot to its present site, which was donated by the county. In March 1985, restoration began.
Come on in. Soon afterwards, a local rancher donated an unusual 2.5-story ranch house known as the James Ranch House. The house was built prior to 1916. It stood tall on the West Texas plains, helping early cowboys navigate the treeless terrain. The stately home became a center of social activity in a sparse populated area. The James Ranch House was no ordinary house. Old-timers tell of celebrities such as cowboy humorist Will Rogers being entertained there. It is reported that Russian royalty came to hunt game, still plentiful on the plains at that time. The allure of the James House sparked more planning, scheming, and fundraising. In 1987, the house was placed at the Heritage Center, and again the community united to begin restoration. A 2-story structure from the James Ranch was soon reunited with the ranch house. The upper story was used by its housekeeper, and the ground floor was a garage, a rarity for the early century. Next, a small log cabin built around 1879 was moved from the North Canadian River bottom near Shawnee, Oklahoma.
The next building to join the Heritage family is the Muleshoe Cookhouse. This building was located originally in Bovina, Texas, on the famous 3 million acre XIT ranch. That ranch was an exchange of land from the state of Texas for the construction of the state capitol in 1882. By the year 1905, the XIT ranch began to sell off its buildings and its land, and the cookhouse was moved from Bovina to Muleshoe and became the Muleshoe Cookhouse. Cowboys came from all around when they heard the dinner bell ringing to eat lunch and to eat supper, and that dinner bell still stands right outside the cookhouse.
The world's largest Muleshoe was completed in 1994 by an Eagle Scout candidate. Standing at the entry to the complex, the 27-foot tall Muleshoe's magnitude adds interest to the center and beckons visitors to stop for a visit.
The Figure 4 Ranch House from the southwest corner of the county has become a part of the center, as well as all these other beautiful buildings. The 42-section ranch was created in 1908, and the original headquarters included a bunkhouse that housed 25 to 30 cowboys. It's also a craftsman bungalow. It's open concept. has a butler's pantry, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. Beautiful home.
Greetings from the Virginia City Hotel. In 1908, a town plot was filed for Virginia City, Texas, with the hope of it becoming the Bailey County seat. It was near the center of the county on the Fort Sumner Road, previously known as the Comanchero Trail. Over 200 lots were sold. A hotel was moved from an unknown location. The upper floor of the hotel was 1 room with enough space for about 8 cots, equipped to bed prospective land buyers who came into Portales on the train bi-monthly from Kansas City. The main floor was a kitchen and dining room, also used as a post office. The years 1911 through 1913 were drought years, and Virginia City became a ghost town. The hotel was removed to the Wilson Ranch west of Maple and became its headquarters. The third move for this building was the heritage site.
Volunteers operated the local heritage thrift shop in a donated building on Main Street, selling articles contributed by local citizens. This provided an ongoing stream of revenue to fund center activities. The past 7 years, the center has sponsored the Tour de Muleshoe bike ride as an additional fundraiser. This year, there were over 200 entries from Texas and surrounding states. Some of the restored buildings came with large cash donations to start renovations. Other donations have financed the restoration of 5 completed historical buildings, with 2 restorations still in progress.
SCAC has stayed a very active club of high school students under the guidance of teachers with the original sponsor. Fundraisers have enabled them to donate over $23,000 plus many volunteer hours. They have kept the seed watered. Running the Heritage Center is undertaken by the Muleshoe Foundation Board, an organization formed in 1983. It works in partnership with SCAC. The center is a venue for educational programs, community entertainment, and recreational events. The past year, there were over 500 registered tourists from the United States and 2 foreign countries. Board members and community volunteers with unique talents and expertise have continually cultivated the seed. The fruit is a beautiful heritage center, a small miracle for Muleshoe.
The stories you've heard so far go through the year 2004. Since then, Sammie Simpson and a group of talented supporters continue to make history. Here are some of their more recent projects. The Stegall School. This original 1-room schoolhouse in Bailey County was barely standing when it was moved to the Heritage Center. This is how it looks today. The Bunch Rat Half Dugout. Can you imagine moving a deteriorated structure like this? Sammie and her team helped move, restore, and authentically furnish this charming dugout. Yellow Jacket Inn. This popular high school hangout from the 50s now has a permanent home. The 1950s Activity Building. Donations allowed Sammie Simpson and her team to recreate the look and feel of a 1950s dentist office, show off vintage clothing, and display artifacts from the original post office. The Granary. This grain storage facility was built in the early 1930s by the Works Progress Administration. The WPA carried out new public works projects that employed millions of Americans. The Santa Fe Pump House. This pump house furnished water for the steam engines, and was moved into the Santa Fe Railroad Station in Bovina to its current site. The Branding Barn. This old warehouse was dressed up and became a stunning outdoor museum displaying historic brands from this area. Office Building. The only modern structure on the site in this office building, which serves as a comfortable welcome center. The Heritage Foundation is grateful for every person who donated money, hammered a nail, or served refreshments to help build and maintain this awesome facility.